I came to this conclusion that there's something else at play. And maybe he was talking about what we were talking about, which is the air that we talked about earlier. Is that what is it that's breathing life into all of these humans? I like that.
Yeah.
And that was when he, I suppose, had his awakening, because he wasn't a believer in that respect. It's that there's something, there's a grand design here, and I haven't been aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful because, yes, it's so nice to see how people get to, at some moment in time, acknowledge that, no? See it.
Yeah.
And it has always been around, no? But to really see it in you, see the beauty and the magic that surrounds us.
Yeah.
Every moment.
You never know.
Oh, I've been surrounded by people who know you, and it has been such a beautiful energy and co-creations. So I was with Victor Acquista.
He's so lovely, isn't he?
Yes,
He's just a lovely, lovely man.
Amazing.
Yeah, huge heart.
Yes, humongous. And yesterday I was with Mark McCartney.
Ah, was he interviewing you, or were you interviewing him?
I was co-creating with him.
Ah, okay. So is it going to be on your podcast or his?
And my podcast.
Cool. He's another one. It's like, oh my goodness. There's a few people which I just wish I lived nearer.
Yes.
You know, and you could sort of just hang out for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and be able to sort of like poke them, poke them in the arm.
Are you real? No?
Yeah, exactly. And certainly Mark is one of those. And somebody actually said in a post, I don't know which one it was, when she said to me, "Do you know Mark McCartney?" And I went, "I do," because she said, "You two seem to be very alike." And it was like, "I do," and it was like, "Oh." So it's really lovely when that happens, because I think people are picking up on the energies and going, actually,
there's a match.
Yeah. So you've been a busy lady, eh?
Yes. Expansive lady. Because all these conversations, all these co-creations are so nurturing, so expansive.
Yeah.
That it's really, and it's a meditation, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have to meditate. But I don't have to meditate besides, in addition to these co-creations, because these are being in the heart and expressing from there. So I'm already without anything in the mind. So it's the heart, the one that is here conversing, and it's like in the meditation, you are in the heart and you are in gratitude.
Yeah. And and you're being with, in service of, connected to all of these things.
Yes.
As I felt that then, and you use the word co-create, which is lovely. It's almost though the physical is separate, but the energies merge enough that there's no edges to it, and a sense that even over this medium, that still happens.
Yes, it doesn't. Yes, it's like in meditation. When you're in meditation, you're connecting through the heart, and this source. So here it's the same, because it's the connection is there, even if you're sitting some miles away.
Yeah.
But it's really, you're here with me, and I'm connected to you.
Yeah.
And with you. So it's really, it's amazing, and it's very expansive, very expansive.
What else happens? What else is going on? What else do you notice?
When this happens,
Yeah.
and I'm like this, magic happens outside the conversations, because I continue being in the heart now. So this is practicing, and experiencing the living in the heart. I was, after speaking with, having a co-creation with Graham House, beautiful, also beautiful soul. It was a Friday. I went quickly to the supermarket, and I found 50 euros on the floor. There was no one around.
Wow.
So the universe bought me the food that day. It's amazing.
50 euros is a lot.
50 euros is a lot. And then on Sunday, I went to meet Sejal. Sejal, I had a conversation with her co-creation. She's from San Francisco, and she came Sunday. She was traveling around Spain. So Sunday she was here, and I went to meet her. And walking on the street, there's a guy, an author, an author, because he was having books. He was hiding books in his coat because it was raining.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was passing by and said, "You want a book?" And I said, and I was crossing the street, and then, "What? Here, there's a book." And then I said, "Well, the one, yes, you wrote them?" "Yes, I wrote them. I was just promoting them, no?" And
Oh, I see. Yes. He just sort of wrapped up all the books that were left.
But he had 3 types of books, but he was somewhere promoting them, and then he was just going to the car. And he said, "I'm lost.
Oh gosh.
I had to go there, and I'm crossing here. So now I see you. I want to. I give you a book." And then he said, "Well, I have a children's book as well." And on that day, Sunday, and lunchtime, my mom was telling me to buy a children's book for my nephew.
No, yeah.
So I got a very Spanish one. They live in Switzerland, but it's a very Spanish one with very Spanish words that I don't think he understands, but it would be very funny.
How lovely is that?
Yes, yes.
And was he a well-known author, or just?
No, I don't think.
No,
so.
okay.
Well, I don't know him, but no, I think he's.
Wow. Isn't it? Again, it's that sort of being open to those possibilities, because it's then again, it's about noticing, because it's entirely possible that many others walked past that 50 euro and didn't see it. That there was something about you and or your energy that he noticed. And it almost feels as though he was reciprocating for the energy that he'd seen or felt from you, because that can happen. I've noticed that in coffee shops, that if you bring your energy to their attention, the barista, they kind of don't know what to do. And so they said, "Would you like a pastry on the house or a coffee?" You know, because they want to give something back for what they've received. And I'm thinking with him, maybe that's exactly what it was. He'd received that energy from you, almost, I suppose, he would have just, I say just, I hate using that word. He would have noticed something. He may not understand what it was. And in its own way, it was I have to give something back.
Yeah. Yes. That's very nice.
When we notice these things, I think then the magic happens. And so, as you say, if you live in your heart and traverse the world in your heart, you notice things, and people notice you.
Yes,
Because otherwise we're stuck inside our screens, and so we wouldn't see it, or we're rushing from A to B. But you're enjoying the journey,
yes,
moment to moment.
Yes, and that's the difference. That's the thing. Because being in your heart, you and I have talked about that. It's about the being, no? Being many times, no?
Yeah.
Because you are in the now. When you are in your heart, you are here and now.
Yeah.
So you notice things because you are here and now.
Yeah. Great point. Yes.
Yeah, that's the difference. And it's the same thing as I have been in conversations these days. And another thing that came to me is the fact that we always say, be who you are, okay?
Okay.
And many people say, but who I am, how this is very, it's very nice to say, be who you are. How I don't know who I am, no? So, and then they go to the mind and they say, okay, I am like this. So labeling and creating an identity, okay?
Right.
Which is not true. When we say, be who you are, it's really be in your heart now and here and be.
Nice.
And that's who you are. And I'm with you now, and I'm who I am now. I will be different when you and I finish this co-creation. I will be different because it's another now moment. So at that moment, I will be who I am in that moment because I'm in my heart. So I will express who I am. No limitation of the mind with identification and labelings.
Yes, yes. And so we put the labels on to give us that identity, rather than just be who I am in this moment, here and now, and know that it will change, and will change, and will change.
Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is, I take your point about the labels and all that, but I'm wondering, as you settle into that space of pure presence, consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, would that be different each time? Or is it so close to being the same each time you would notice that? But it's only when you know what I'm thinking is, it's only when you I'm wondering whether it's in that. So if we're at this space here, in this individually, yeah, right, okay, we're in this space, but you're bringing you, I'm bringing me, and then we co-create something, and it's that's different each time because of who you co-create with. And so the co-creation we have would naturally be different to the co-creation you have with Victor or with Mark. But who you are within that feels like it remains the same, because if it's the pure essence of you, that's it. It is you.
Yeah, it's in essence, I'm the same. It's because when I'm in my heart, I'm connected to the source, no? So I'm really, which is what expands and opens the heart, no?
Yeah.
And then what is this wholeness, being wholeness. I am the same because the portal is the same.
Yeah,
No?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm allowing me to be who I am, which I don't know who I am. I just know it's this portal and this energy and this source. The important is really not to identify who I am with the mind, because it cannot be described.
Yes, agreed.
No?
And so within that co-creation, you're able to put some sort of description around it, maybe. You can't hear, but when you co-create, you can, there is something perhaps a little more tangible that you can consider. I don't know. I'm just playing with it, because at the other end, the other side of it is that when we settle into that pure consciousness, and even as I say it, that I'm saying is mine, that's not true either. It's the pure consciousness that we all have.
Yeah. But maybe this vessel is the one that translates it into this this expression.
Yes.
No, so it's the same source and it's the same consciousness, because when we are here being, we tap into that infinite energy that it's connecting you and me, and we are this one in the same, because that's what we feel now, which is true. Yeah. But it's this vessel that expresses this through this individuality.
Yes.
Or uniqueness. So it expresses it in a different way in this material world. No?
Yeah.
But you and me are the same, and the connection is the same, and the source is the same. It's just this vessel that expresses it differently. So when I am who I am, I'm allowing this energy to flow through me, and since I'm in service to this energy, I am just expressing it somehow through this vessel.
Yeah. Probably not the best metaphor, but imagine that you've got lots of different balloons that have been created, and they all look the same. They're sort of all deflated, different colors, of course, different textures, maybe different sizes and shapes. But it's only when you put the air into them, life into them, they show up as they are. But it's the same air that's going into each of them.
Yeah.
But you go, well, they're completely different. Yeah, we're completely different. Is that right? Is that true? Completely different.
We're unique.
Yes, so the vessel is unique.
The vessel is unique.
Right, and so it has a shape, a style, a sense of, and all of the ways we could describe it, and also all of the elements of the journey, like a girl, a lady, a mother, etc., a doctor, whatever. They're just definitions of the vessel. And maybe that's because all of what makes up that person is contained within in their brain, in their mind. We feel we're different and separate.
Yeah.
And there lies perhaps the illusion. And yet the air that's filling each of us is from the same place. It manifests differently in the shape, the the shape that you are and I am, and Mark is and Victor is. But then if we acknowledge that it is the same air, we can just sit very happily in the presence of the other.
Yeah.
And yeah. And it just is just lovely.
Yeah. And it's this encompassing love, and it's also this understanding of the other, because you see that they have struggle experiences to go through as you have, and everyone in their own way, but at the same time they are the same as who you are.
Yeah. And so somebody may have experience where they're in, what do we call it? Their vessel has been damaged. You know, they've lost a leg or an arm or a brain tumor or something. And so how can they possibly be the same as you or me? But it's the air that fills and creates the entity, the vessel, that's the same. And so then you can, and so how could I ever hate another? Doesn't mean I won't agree, that I disagree with what they do or their behaviors and all those sorts of things. And we actually don't know their story. And if we took time to understand their story, maybe we would understand why they behaved the way they behaved. And offer that grace, which is, if I'd had the experience you've had, it's entirely possible that I would have done what you've done. Because you're right, this whatever it is defies description. Because the moment we try and put words on it, we've raised up. No, it's here. But what is it? And so when I was reading Neil Donald Walsh's books, Conversations with God. I don't know if you've read them at all.
Yeah. All of them. Yeah.
He says, don't take my word for this, any of it. Sit with yourself and decide whether it feels right for you, and don't be surprised if it is. And for me, that makes sense. There was one part of it, I know exactly where I was when I was reading it. I think it was in book 3. And he said, there is only one. And I went, what? It's like, yeah. It was that was quite a series, those 3 books.
Yes, I think those 3 books, I don't know if there are 4 now, or what was it? Oh no, but those 3 books, I think those were the first ones I started to read, that then I became a bookworm.
Oh.
And it was not far, it was, I think, early 2017 or so. And from there I started reading spiritual books, let's say.
Right.
In every form and shape. But those were the first 3 ones. And then I went into the Course of Miracles and so on.
Okay.
But yes, those were the first 3 ones.
How lovely. Yeah. I don't even know how I got that book. I don't remember finding the book. I can only assume it found me.
Yeah, you should have.
And about the same time was the Celestine Prophecy, which also, but what I smiled at in the book of Donald Walsh's book, he said, well, there's only going to be 3 books written.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, oops.
You have them there, no? I have them
Yeah,
also.
so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 books, including the 3. So it's 5 more books he's written. So he's got Tomorrow's God, Friendship with God, Communion with God, What God Wants, and a really neat one called Conversations, Questions and Answers on Conversations with God.
Oh.
Yeah, so he did a few more than 3. So maybe the publisher's got hold of it and said, hang on a minute, you can't just do 3. You've got a following, you've got to keep knocking them out. But yeah, they were very, I think, very transformational.
Yes, I think so. I think they transformed me.
Yeah.
And I'm someone that reads books, but doesn't, I integrate what has to be integrated, because many times I forget the details of the book.
Yeah.
I keep the experience,
Yeah.
but not the details of that. And so for me, when I read them, I don't go with the mind. I read them with the heart. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I what they make me feel is with what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. I like that way.
Yeah. So, but I remember,
Yeah,
I remember reading them, and that they have transformed me. Yes, they have opened me up.
yes. I would agree with that. It's because I read books, and like you, I struggle sometimes to remember the details.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these that can, I can get triggered when I think of it. Certain things arise, but invariably, it's the essence of it that I'm taking away. Yeah, I like that from the point of view of it's changed me. I know all the books I've read, and I say many. There's a handful I've read more than once.
Yeah.
They've changed me,
Yes.
but I can't remember the detail.
Yes. Like me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the same. Yes, and I believe it's. I don't know if I've been thinking, because I remember at school, for instance, history. It went in and went out. And well, in that case, I had to understand the logic behind it and how people were reacting to remember it. If not, really went in and out.
yeah,
And still, you ask me something and I say, well, very high level. But I guess because I haven't been meant to remember the history, because it's in the past,
yes,
So it's overall to know a little bit, but also I think because what we've been told not necessarily is true.
yep, agreed.
So why should you remember something when you weren't there, when you were told, and you never know if it's true or not? So don't concentrate, and your mind don't keep spaces for something that is gone.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's helpful to get an appreciation of. I'm a bit concerned, without necessarily getting into all the politics of it, that they're trying to erase history.
Yes.
No, I mean, it's important for us to know the history. But also, I'm thinking of a book called News, or The News, and it's a really thoughtful book. And the point he makes is that, and we can use the example of the Israel-Palestinian thing, or even the Ukraine war thing, is that the vast majority of us have nothing like enough information to be able to make a sensible judgment on it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
And it was like, and and journalists, even those that do an in-depth one, it's pretty much, it won't be that long, and it's meant to be in depth.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, oh. And so maybe rather than being opinionated, we might be better off being curious about it or that. So, and then and be open to the possibility of new information that may shift and not be, no. So, for example, one of the things I read recently was that when I think it was Reagan and Gorbachev met, and they were keen to reduce the nuclear stockpile that each of them had, the agreement was that the NATO line would not move an inch further towards Russia. And because of that, they agreed to, but since that time, the NATO has crept further and further to the right. And so now all along Russia's border is NATO. Now, for some, they'd go, no, he was, don't get me wrong, he was wrong to do what he did. But he was kind of put in a corner, and he said he's been telling them that you're going back against what you agreed. And you think, and if you put someone in a corner, they may well come out fighting. So the point is, without going into a lot of detail, it's if you don't know that bit or aren't willing to listen to that bit as being even partially true, then any opinion we have is incomplete.
Yeah.
Right? And let's say you didn't know that, and you were very much anti-Putin, etc., etc. Oh, hadn't thought of that. Or you might say, no, I don't believe that. That's just rubbish. He is this and that, and he shouldn't, and all those sorts of things. But there's a piece of information now.
Yeah.
So you're now making a deliberate decision to not include that.
Yeah. Just to stay. I've learned I cannot. I stay in observation. I cannot. I cannot say something about anything because I don't know, and I'm not in their shoes. What
Yes.
I know, I don't know, but what I feel is what gives me the information is really intuition and discernment, that it's called, no, in the way of someone.
Yes.
So there are certain public figures, people, that for me, there's a lot of manipulation in them.
Agreed.
It's not that I know, I don't know them. It's just that my heart is telling me not to trust. And it's someone not trustable at all, someone or many.
Yes.
But it's not because I know them. It's just that the heart is telling.
Agreed.
So it's more about that feeling. That feeling I believe and I trust.
Yep.
More than any other information that has been told to me because I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. Nice way of putting it. I like that.
Yeah, it's the way I navigate today life. Yeah, that's because we don't know. I haven't been in those places. I haven't been in the fight. I haven't been in the conversations, in the negotiations. I don't know.
Yep, agreed.
I just know that we human beings are able to live in another way, which is the way of co-creation through the love and the uniqueness of everyone. So this is what I do.
Yeah. It's interesting on the podcast that Mark has just put out today. I think his name's Andrew. I can't remember exactly, but he talks about when did we lose this ability to live together harmoniously. You know, why have we got so distracted by almost the glittery balls that we've stopped looking after each other?
Because we are not looking. Because we are not looking inside after ourselves.
Yeah.
The sooner you do it, you will return to your humanness.
Yeah. And I think the approach you take, which is, I could get involved in all of these things, but actually that takes me away from my humanness, and I get caught up in it and distracted, disturbed, displaced by it. And that's not serving humanity. And so doing the things that you're doing, being the person that you are, in our own little way, we can make a difference.
Yes.
You know, so we make a difference when we greet the barista in a different way. We make a difference when we smile at the new mum with their baby, or the little one running ahead of mum, etc. There was one. There was one the other day. So there's a little bridge that you have to go over, and I think either mum or dad has already gone over the bridge, and the little one's on their little tiny scooter, push with their leg, and they obviously get to the top and realise I'm not going to be able to stop, so they get off, let the scooter go down, and it crashes into the fence, and then they come down and pick it up and carry on. It was just brilliant. It's like, hey, that's pretty smart, actually. It's like, I can't stop this thing, so I'll let nature take its course, take it down, stop it, then I can get back on it. And you, in that moment, as I'm thinking about it now, the little one is little, really little. But I think the little girl, she's already sorted it out in her mind. Can't do this, I'll do that. And I'm just like in awe of it.
Yes.
And I think having a little grandson, I think it's brought that home, the awe of it. And there was a picture she sent me the other day, and he's got it's a little play thing of an egg box, not a real egg box, and it's not real eggs, plastic ones, and you put them in a particular way, etc. And he's just got one, and he's looking at it, and she's got this picture from the side, and it's just like, what is going on in his head? You know, what is he noticing? What is he seeing? What is he sensing, feeling, and all those sorts of things? And he might sit there for 15, 20, 30 seconds. And then he's away again. Just phenomenal, really.
Yes.
There's a little person, and he's perfect in all the ways. You know, he's got all the joints are there, the nail is there, but everything's smaller.
Yeah, so beautiful. Now we are such beautiful machines, let's say technology or whatever. We have it all. We have it all.
Yeah, they're beautifully made when you think about it.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, there's also many routes that things can go. So if one happens to break, the whole thing doesn't break down. So it's a little bit like the internet. You know, if a connection between a node and a node break down, it's not the end of everything doesn't stop.
No.
It goes, oh, okay, go another way.
Yeah.
And it sends its packets doing all where it does. And from what I understand, the body is like that as well. Yes. And that was when I think Bruce Lipton, Biology Believe, who's a scientist, a hard-nosed scientist, biologist, and he went, I came to this conclusion that there's something else at play. And maybe he was talking about what we were talking about, which is the air that we talked about earlier. Is that what is it that's breathing life into all of these humans? I like that.
Yeah.
And that was when he, I suppose, had his awakening, because he wasn't a believer in that respect. It's that there's something, there's a grand design here, and I haven't been aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful because, yes, it's so nice to see how people get to, at some moment in time, acknowledge that, no? See it.
Yeah.
And it has always been around, no? But to really see it in you, see the beauty and the magic that surrounds us.
Yeah.
Every moment.
Yeah. It's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there.
That's the weird bit. It's like, how did I not notice? Because you were probably looking in all the wrong places. What was it, the guy who'd lost his keys, and he's looking around the bottom of the lamp, the light, and he said, so why are you just, he said, well, it's the only place I can see. Doesn't mean that's where they were.
No.
Yeah.
It's like that. No, our perception is just like a tiny lantern in a huge warehouse.
Yeah. It's just a shaft of light.
Yes.
And Anita Mojani, who wrote the book Breaking Open, I think it is, she was in that sort of near-death place. I mean, she was aware of looking down on her body. She was aware of a conversation that was happening in the corridor, which she wouldn't have known about if she was, and also she was aware of how her brother, who was flying over to be with her in her state, she was aware of what he was thinking. But she talks about going into this large warehouse, and as you beautifully said, we've got we're all walking around with these little lanterns which just provide a little bit of light. And she said, for me, she said, I walked into the warehouse and it was like all the lights are on. I could see it all, how it was all connected.
Yes.
And joined together. But we only get a glimpse of it, a little shaft of that, a little shaft of that. And it's harder to join all the pieces.
Yes.
But what she said is I can see how it all connects.
And I think that's the glimpse we get when you are who you are, when you are in the present, when you are in your heart.
Yeah.
It's the connection of everything.
Yeah. It's all connected because it's from the same source. It is the same source. It is the source, not the same source. Because the same means there's another one.
Yeah, no, it's the source.
It's the source.
This infinite power, potential, everything this well, not describable element.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? The moment we try and describe it, it just it falls apart. So we just have to not have to. So we choose to just go, I know it to be true.
Yeah, acknowledge it, and
that's it.
That's it. There's nothing else to do with it.
Yeah. It changes everything, doesn't it, when you understand that we're all connected like that.
Yeah.
How could I hurt you?
You cannot hurt me, yeah. No. And that's why I say with what you were saying of Mark's guest, no, Andrew. We've lost it when we started looking outside and not inside. When we started living from the outside in and not from the inside out. And I believe we are able to to get back to that when we look inside and live from the inside out. When we are who we are, when we are in the heart, and when we are in the here and now. Everyone is capable to do that.
Yeah.
And then everything changes, because then I know
like
who you are. That's for me the co-creation, and that's the future of the earth is co-creation.
Yeah. So all is not lost.
For me, not.
This was a diversion, and maybe an exploration, as in, let's see what's out there and where that leads us.
Yeah.
But at any time, we can all go back to looking in, return to
within,
looking inward.
Yeah. And then living from the inside out.
Yeah. I like that. And so all those that have similar thinking to you and I, we just continue to do that.
Because you're planting seeds.
Yep.
We're planting seeds of co-creation. We're planting seeds with this beingness, and it impacts, like the author that gave me the book.
Yeah.
It impacts, and when it impacts, you're planting a seed. One day it will grow.
There's a saying which is something like the generosity of those who plant the seed, knowing that they'll never be able to sit under its shadow. Or it's,
Yeah, it's like that, but you don't care. You just
exactly.
know.
Yes. There was, when I went to China last year, I was able to see the terracotta warriors, which was amazing. And what I hadn't realized is that there were still huge areas that have not been opened up to excavation yet. And I said, what could that be like for archaeologists? Would they not be going, I wish we could open this up, then we could see some more? And they go, no, they're really happy because they're waiting for the technology to come that will enable them to open it up in a way that when they expose the warriors, the paint on the warriors' terracotta, it won't fade. And so they're sitting knowing that at some stage in the future, technology will be enough for them to be able to open up another area and know that the paint that's on them, because it's been effectively sealed, will stay in place. And I think it's a little bit like I was saying, maybe into Mark, that the work we're doing, you're doing, I'm doing, he's doing, the world doesn't realize it needs it yet. We haven't, maybe we've not got to the point of recognizing that the looking outside is the problem and that the looking inside is the solution. And it's been there all the time for us. We just need to decide. And they're going to go, oh, that's what people like Jeannette were doing, and Colin was doing, and Mark was doing, and etc., etc. Victor, all of those folks. Oh, not that they were right, that's not the point. But they were the seed planters. And that feels nice.
Yes, because it's for me, it's when I co-create a conversation, yes, it's planting a seed that I know one day will grow. And I don't always have conversations with you guys that are already like me in it, you know? And usually people are already servicing, but not necessarily in full awareness of who they are, no? So still a little bit in the mind sometimes.
Sure.
But by doing this and experiencing this, because it has changed them, just being with me while co-creating, no, in this love and respect, changed something in them that one day they will develop it.
Yep. The seed that gets planted by you is planted. That's it.
Yeah.
Whether it takes a week, a month, a year, or 2 years, 10 years, whatever it is to grow, it will grow.
Yes. Yes, and it's so beautiful to be able to do that. And the seed that you and me are planting today is the same. So having conversations with you, we are planting seeds.
Yeah. And anyone who listens to this will receive some of that.
Yeah.
And what I'm also wondering is, as we're planting these seeds, we're shifting the consciousness. So in much the same way as the things like the Schumann resonance, and when there was on different times it's had shifts, and they've been able to see. So there was a shift in the Schumann resonance before 9/11, and then so it was already knowing what was going to happen, because people already knew that's what they were going to do.
Yes.
Before it happened.
Yes.
So there was a shift. And I think that feels like the more you talk to Mark, I talk to you, you talk to me, to Victor, etc. It's all constantly spreading.
Yes.
And we end up talking about each other and mentioning the other. How cool is that?
It's beautiful.
There was, I think, who was it? Somebody I was talking to. He'd gone on an event that I'd been on. And that's right, this person who knew me didn't realize that. Sorry, let me just say the name. So my friend is James Cook. And he was on an event of which a lady I know called Siobhan was on. And she didn't, obviously she knows me, but she didn't know that he knew me. And in the course of conversation, she said, "You really need to speak to Colin." And he said, "I know who he is." And I think she says, "Of course you will. You wouldn't be here." Yeah. And it's maybe all of those things reinforce the connections.
It does. It does. And the energy emanates.
Yeah.
And that's what people feel. That's why she was saying, because she has felt your energy. So she knows the matching, no? Like we said at the beginning.
Exactly.
It's the energy, because she feels that energy. So that energy is a seed in her.
Yeah. So we match energies. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I trust if somebody's name comes up in a conversation, if I'm talking to you and a name comes up, or a book or something, then I share it.
Yeah.
It's like it's being given to me to share.
Yes. And also when you reference to me someone to have a co-creation, I don't look at this person in anything. I just send an email or an invitation because I trust.
Yeah, I'm very much that.
Yeah, you know, because it's your energy, so I trust it. And that's how I've been talking to people, because of referencing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how when was it Mark? Was it Mark? I can't remember how I found out about Mark, but I did, and I said he's invited me to be on his podcast, and Molly said, "Oh, that's good. How many viewers has how many I don't know subscribers or whatever?" And I said, "I don't know," and she said, "Well, why don't you know?" And I said, "Because I don't need to know.
I don't need to."
Right? Because, and so it's almost like, well, why would I want to use my time for that?
Yeah, I've done invitations to more people, I believe, but because of how they are sharing YouTube, they have, because I follow them, no?
Yeah.
And I remember one lady, I invited her in, and her response was, once you have, I don't know, so and so thousand followers, and at that time I only had 100 or something. When you have, I don't know how many thousands followers or so, just come back. I said I will never come back. Thank you so much. And the other one I wrote was very nice. Alex Ferrari from Next Level Soul. And his team, when they came back, said, we are so honored you have asked so and so Alex to join you, but he interviews. He is not now ready to be interviewed, to be a guest.
Oh my
and
gosh.
That was a very nice response.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's another quality of guy.
Yeah.
Of people that are surrounded by him. No?
Yes.
So it's nice. Yeah, it makes a lot.
Because I guess, we've got to be discerning. Why would, much as you and I would love to sit and interview Brené Brown, for example, I was going to say it probably won't happen.
No.
But you never know. Because even as I've said that, I'm almost like trying to get the words back in my mouth. Right? As I've spoken them out, I'm going, that's not true.
No. I one I'm going to invite soon is Robert Grant. Robert
Grant.
Yeah. He wrote the other day something so similar to me, love, uniqueness, and co-creation, and with other words. I responded, a comment, and I have him as a contact, first level contact in LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I will write him. I don't lose anything, because it's at the end, those are humans like me and you. And there's nothing. I don't have any issue. I will be just sitting with them, having a conversation as with you or anyone else. The followers don't mean anything. It's just a person that is talking that is important.
I'm with you on that. And because that was that's why as I was saying about Brené Brown, it's not that you wouldn't, or I wouldn't, or even couldn't. We haven't found that reason to yet. The moment we get that reason, it's like she might write something, you pick it up, right, and it's like ding 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 ding. And I would like to think that the people who help with the selection, there was one yesterday. Oh, I was so cross, wrong word. It was like, okay, I understand. And she wrote something, "Hi, Colin," and I know of her. I get her emails, and she's very much into promotion and different ways to get leads and references and all those sorts of things. And she's a savvy lady. And she said, "Hi, Colin," is a private message. "Hi, Colin, notice your comment about whatever it was. I too value I still value listening as a skill, and all the. It was nice. Not many. Didn't spend a lot of time talking about it. And then she said, "I'm just curious. how do you get all of your customers from LinkedIn? So on the one hand, she's gone, hey, right? And then in the second breath, she's gone, want to buy my stuff?
Yes.
It's like, oh, stop it.
Yeah.
If she'd said, I love what you'd written, and like you, I really do value listening. I'd love to have a chat.
Yeah.
I'd have gone, very happy to do that.
Yeah.
Because the energy would have been different.
Yeah.
And there's another friend of mine who, whenever she sends a reply on something, or she always adds another bit, you'd be great on this workshop that I'm running. Do you want to come? You know what I mean? If it's so, the reason you're writing it is because of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel right.
No. It is from the heart.
Yeah. And we feel it.
Yeah. I have to let you go. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank
Always
you so much.
wonderful to just
Yes.
be with.
Yes.
I'm playing with these 4 things at the moment. It's talk at. Is that right? Hang on. Is it talk at? Yeah. Talk at. Hear from. Listen to. Be with.
Listen to.
The stages of development.
Yes.
Right. So even listen to. That still has some doing in it.
Yes.
But being with doesn't. Or
No.
BEI''ing doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on at this moment, and I've got a post I'm
nice.
midway through creating.
Nice.
So I'm just at the moment trying to squeeze it into LinkedIn's 3,000 characters.
Yeah.